Welcome to Resistance Chicks. I'm Michelle. This is Leah. We are coming to you. It's April 25th, 2017. We're actually in the middle right now of a 3-day, that we covered this, the Gotham Shield, where they're doing trials, not really trials, but kind of drills and runs kind of all over America. And one interesting thing is that our friend in Manhattan had said that her sister was on a subway and the doors would stop and they would stay open for 20 minutes, and it was just really weird. There was stuff that was going on. There's stuff that has been going on, but one of the most interesting things that is going to happen tomorrow is
that they called all the senators, like all 100 senators, to come and meet with President
I don't know that they're going to meet with Trump.
They're going to meet with the 4 advisors, but
they represent Trump. Right. I don't think Trump's going to actually be there, but
so let me just play this.
Okay, yeah, we'll just play it. And then we can
Fox News alert for you now. The entire U.S. Senate could be on its way to the White House. The president extending an invitation for a rare briefing on North Korea. All 100 members asked to sit in on updates from Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Defense Secretary James Mattis, and others. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel is live on Capitol Hill. This just happened, Mike. What does this invitation signal?
Well, it shows you, Melissa, how concerned many folks here in Washington are about the erratic behavior by the North Korean regime. All 100 United States senators returning from a 2-week recess are being invited down to the White House for a classified briefing on Wednesday on North Korea and its recent activities, including firing off weapons into the Sea of Japan and other threatening behavior. The briefers will be 4 top administration officials: Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Secretary of Defense Mattis, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Dunford, and the Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer talked about this critical meeting a short time ago.
Also on North Korea, on Wednesday, the White House campus will play host to a briefing for all 100 U.S. senators on the subject. The briefers will be Secretaries Tillerson and Mattis, Director Coates, and General Dunford. This is a Senate briefing convened by the Majority Leader, not a White House briefing. We are just serving as the location.
But why?
But it will be unusual to see potentially all 100 United States senators load up on buses and go down to the White House, a sign of just how concerned many in the administration are at this point about North Korea's behavior at this point. We've seen a lot of erratic behavior from the regime.
So there's a lot of things going on right now. Number one, the first thing that has come to my mind is Trump doesn't want to pull another Syria because he got a lot of backlash and everybody said, listen, you needed to have Congress behind you.
Right.
So he's calling everybody sick.
Even we, as Resistance Chicks, we had an outcry. I'm sure President Trump never saw it. We said you needed to be contacting our senators and at least let them know. If it was too top secret for the everyday people to know, you needed to let our senators know.
Exactly. And so obviously in that regard, I think that that's a good thing. My other gut says, oh my goodness, I don't want everybody in one place at one time for some reason.
Because it almost feels like that
during the drills and during all this chaos
to have them in a very
now,
protected space. You guys probably know way better than I do how many floors deep the president's bunker under the White House is. I have no idea. But to have them in a space where they can go that deep, it's very protected while they're doing these drills. And I want to take you back to the fact that...
Or is this even part of a drill? Are they saying that they're meeting with them over this?
I don't know.
Is this just... Or is that's what they're saying because it's part of a drill in case they need to get... And that is my conspiracy theory, that they're because they're doing so many drills, that this is what they're telling the public, and so this is what they would do in an event.
And this is not the first time that this has happened. We saw this at 9/11. They were doing drills all the way leading up to 9/11. This happened during the right before the Oklahoma City bombing. They were doing these same exact type of drills. And what is even further concerning is the fact that Japan, South Korea, and North Korea, and Russia are all doing drills right now.
I want to take you to the Japanese drill. Now, their poor citizens don't seem to take it quite as well as we might. They're a little bit freaked out. I don't know, their facial expressions don't seem to...
Well, you know what Owen was saying on InfoWars? He's like, if this was Canada, we might feel it more. Japan's right there, okay? Right by North Korea. So
they're not laughing.
It's kind of a big deal. These kids look very concerned. They're not talking.
They look really sad, like really upset.
It is very disconcerting to know that your country is doing drills because there might be nuclear war or whatever you want to call it. You know, to think about that, it's just really actually unfortunate for these poor children.
Well, it's not even the children. I mean, they had adults drilling too. So that was, and then now they're all playing and everything. So I wanted to, bring that to you that, it says it would take 10 minutes for a North Korean missile to hit Japan, Tokyo estimates. As tensions between the countries grow, guidelines on what to do if a strike actually happens have been published online and have recently seen a huge surge in interest. A Japanese civil security website, the Cabinet Secretariat Civil Protection Portal site, says that a North Korean missile would reach the country in a very short time. And so, it says a missile may not be detected as soon as it leaves the launch pad, and that could take several minutes.
Right. And
so people are really, concerned, and I would definitely be too. And in addition to that, North Korea actually stages a big artillery drill as a U.S. submarine docks in the south. And many of you have heard that there's a U.S. submarine that docked in South
Korea.
Yeah, and so North Korea conducted a big live fire exercise, and I do like the memes where the missile goes.
Okay, yeah, we've seen that. But this started on Tuesday, which is the exact same day that our drill, or actually ours started yesterday, but they did this like just today.
And they did this as the submarine, the USS Michigan, which is designed to carry ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, came as a U.S. aircraft carrier strike group steamed towards the port call by the USS Michigan, which is designed to carry ballistic missiles and cruise missiles, came as a U.S. aircraft carrier strike group steamed toward Korean waters in an effort to deter North Korea from a sixth nuclear test or more missile launches in defiance of UN sanctions. So here's the thing. Trump kind of wants to do something about these things. And North Korea is pushing their luck, and I don't know why. This is the $1 billion question, isn't it? Mm-hmm. What is going on?
Right.
What is going on? Why now? Why Trump? Why this very second? Who's pushing whose buttons and why?
And speaking of the UN sanctions, that same press conference where we saw Spicer just a minute ago, we also saw our UN representatives, including Nikki Haley, get up and talk about how Assad is still on the plate, essentially. Mm-hmm. And because they were literally just right out there, they are still accusing him. They are still saying that it was Assad that launched a chemical weapons attack. Leah and I unequivocally do not believe that it was Assad that had the chemicals. We think that they were there and then they blew up.
Right. North Korea was defiant when the South Korean's Office of Joint Chiefs of Staff said it was monitoring the situation and firmly maintaining readiness as North Korea was, spouting off these missile tests. They said its military was prepared to bring to closure the history of U.S. scheming and nuclear blackmail. There is no limit to the strike power of the People's Army with our style of cutting-edge military equipment. You guys, they're either the biggest bluff, which is not even possible because they don't have any. They have no food.
Right.
They can't. Their little military men have no strength whatsoever. They're not going to win any battles or any fights. He says there's no limit to the strike power of the People's Army, armed with our style of cutting-edge military equipment, including various precision and miniaturized nuclear weapons and submarine-launched ballistic missiles, the official Radyum Sinum newspaper said. I personally don't believe that they have that kind of capability.
They are a very small country.
And from the missile tests that they have launched, they've fizzled and they've just gone off track. So,
which could be why they keep practicing.
And the guy is insane, unless he's like a good actor, which I think he's just insane. North Korea's growing nuclear missile threat is perhaps the most serious security challenge confronting President Trump, which is what everybody keeps saying. And
so I want to get back to the fact that tomorrow we have these senators that are all going to meet together to talk about the North Korean situation.
And at the exact same time, this is so weird. DC plans a full-scale terror attack drill. Why would you do the drill on the same day that you're having 100 senators go by bus to meet together? It's like, and it's just a little bit odd. Local governments in Washington, D.C. area region are planning a full-scale
terror attack drill on Wednesday.
An exercise that comes amid mounting tensions with North Korea. Go ahead.
The Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments confirmed in a press release that law enforcement and first responders will participate in the exercise designed to prepare for the possibility of a complex coordinated terror attack in the national capital region.
The drill prepares for an attack involving multiple locations and teams of perpetrators and will be staged at 6 sites across the District of Columbia and in Virginia and the Maryland suburbs. It will involve hundreds of police and other emergency personnel
and volunteer actors.
Right.
They're really going to make this as real as possible.
Right, exactly. I read that about the actors. Law enforcement officials practice and exercise their skills on their own regularly because that's the best way to ensure we are always ready. He says there's no reason for people to be alarmed. And, you know, I have a weird feeling about it all. I
think that there's a lot here, and unfortunately, Leah and I can't figure it out for you or even figure it out for ourselves, but we can tell you there is a lot going on here and something smells fishy.
Be afraid when you see all these dead
Here's
bodies
the thing that
everywhere.
really bothers me about this is that we're hearing a lot about these senators all gathering, as Spicer says, the White House is just hosting. As far as I can tell from what I have seen, and I have researched this extensively, this is unprecedented. The White House just doesn't host 100 senators, okay? We have nothing to do with it. It's not the White House. We're just hosting the event. The White House is not a hosting, what is the word I want?
What?
When you go and you have a wedding, you have it at a
Reception?
venue. It's not a hosting venue, all right? For senators, I'm sorry, it took me a minute. I have a cold. I'm heady here. All right, but it's unprecedented that they would gather all of these senators here.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you called my name.